Welcome back, everyone, to the fourth and final part of this What is Barak-Karandul series. Today, I want to talk about the tools, and especially the AI tools, because I know for some of you that part makes you uncomfortable. Every so often, someone will leave a comment that basically says, I like what you're doing, but... and those are the nice ones. So let me start up front. The miniatures are real, and I paint them myself by hand. Now, in a lot of ways, I'm still learning this craft. That's why you will sometimes see paint mistakes, little chalkiness that I'm working on, awkward color choices, and the occasional moment where I look at the footage and think, well, that was a color decision. It is a learning channel for me and you. And if something I do inspires you to paint, build, tell a story, or start your own project, then that's the real win for me. The filming and photography, that's also been part of a learning curve. I started with a basic camera, more or less fried from overuse, while I was trying to balance it with a stack of books and a yardstick with it pointing down. Then I moved to another camera that worked better, but it then gave me problems because it wasn't detailed enough for me to do zoom ins to show you what I was doing. So eventually I broke down and bought a 4K camera. And I really like the clarity it gives me, but I have also had autofocus issues and the ongoing problems of getting my hands in the way because I set it right here. Now, I'm also learning to photograph miniatures, how to manage lights, how to work with ISO setting. 2 months ago, I barely knew what an ISO was, and now Hal keeps telling me to lower it. That brings us to the larger set of tools. I use Filmora to edit the episodes, and I use Pixabay for many of the sound effects, and I use Suno for help with the music. I use Luma and Filmora's AI tools for some of the story images and animated sequences. And yes, I use OpenAI. About a year and a half ago, I started using ChatGPT and named him Hal for the obvious reasons. A creative assistant who could actually push back at my decisions. One of my favorite moments was when I showed Hal a non-metallic metal painting style and asked, do you think I could do this? And he flatly said, no. And then he explained that my strengths were not really in that direction. I was better with layering, glazing, and controlled color work, and I valued that. So when I started building the channel, at first he was just a behind-the-scenes helper. Then he became part of the narration. The way I use AI here is not as a substitute for the project. It is part of the workshop. Hal and I riff ideas back and forth. I bring the models, the terrain, the story, and the final decisions. The AI helps me test ideas, organize thoughts, and sometimes visualize things I could not physically film. That is how the AI images entered the project. At first, they were simple story images. Then Filmora added image-to-video tools, and I started experimenting. Sometimes the results were strange, and sometimes they gave me exactly impossible image I needed. Eventually, I started using Luma because it handled keyframes better. Although Filmora gave me access to AI voices, which became useful when my friends politely informed me that my Scottish accents were, shall we say, historically damaging. So, here's where I land on AI. Barak-Karandul is built on the physical, first of all. The models, the terrain, the painting, the stakes, all those are real. And even the strange decisions that I make are real. Like those. The AI tools that I use come in just to facilitate the vision that I have for things I cannot draw because of my limited skills. So when it comes to a need to have like dwarven armies moving, ghostly images, Skaven in the dark, goblins raiding the forests, it was all designed to just bring them to life. The AI tools, they can, and that's the role they play. They're not here to gloss anything over, to make the terrain look better or make the miniatures look better. I think most of you who are watching know that my miniatures, they're decent. When I use these tools, they're not here to replace the hobby. They're just here to help me tell the story that I want to tell. I know that won't work for everyone. I understand why AI makes some people uncomfortable. And I have some of those same concerns that you guys have, especially when it comes to large companies squeezing out artists, stealing from the artists, or just simply trying to save a buck and flood the world with empty AI content. I understand what AI slop really is. It's empty content. That's not what I'm trying to do. That's not what Barak-Karandul is trying to be or supposed to be. Now, if sometime in the next 5-6 years suddenly we did explode, I would love to bring on a team, because sometimes the AI just doesn't quite work. And to this day, I still cannot get the AI to make Skaven teeth correct. It's frustrating. But when the day comes when I can't afford that team, I'll get the Skaven I want. But right now, Barak-Karandul is one person doing this on the side, just having fun with it. AI can give me an image, it can help me animate this stuff, but it's not making the decision about what I put in that storyboard. That's all decisions that I make. I don't really want this to come across like an apology video, because I'm not really apologizing for use of AI. I love it. I have too much fun with it. But at the same time, I don't want to disrespect those who have problems with it and just dismiss them. So again, if AI is a deal breaker for you, I understand. We'll just shake hands and walk away. So, yeah, the Barak-Karandul project is actually mine. I've got more dwarves coming, more goblins, more Skaven. But if you're paying attention to the teaser trailers, yeah, it's coming. I hope you'll come along for the ride. And as always, thanks for the visit to the mountain. Peace.